It's April 5th, 2025. And it's hard to miss this whole hashtag tariff tales thing blowing up online. So many stories about how tariffs are hitting people, like in their everyday lives and their businesses. When we saw that, we thought, okay, this is definitely deep dive territory.
Yeah, absolutely. To really get what's going on with the whole economic side of hashtag tariff tales, we got to rewind a bit.
Yeah,
Look deeper than just the headlines.
exactly. We've been going through John M. Barry's The Great Influenza. Bill Gates actually recommended this one. It's about the 1918 flu pandemic. But what really grabbed us is how Barry lays out how societies adapt, I mean, economically and socially, when a huge crisis hits. Like, that's the connection we're making here.
And that's the through line for today's deep dive.
Yeah.
We're looking at how resilient people were during the 1918 pandemic so we can better understand how we naturally deal with economic hardship, which is exactly what all those hashtag tariff tales stories are showing.
Yeah. Okay, so in The Great Influenza, Barry paints this really vivid picture of a world turned upside down. Like in chapters like The Pestilence, you see doctors with no medicine, farmers who can't sell their crops, businesses going under. It's a direct link to what's popping up in those 2025 hashtag tariff tales.
Yeah, the parallels are kind of striking. Like, think about all the talk about tariffs adding a 10 to 15% price hike on tech, like iPhones. It's basically a tax on imports, and companies often just pass that cost along.
Mhm.
Or farmers potentially seeing a 15% drop in their export markets because of, like, retaliatory tariffs from other countries. That hits their bottom line hard. These aren't just abstract things, they're real economic forces playing out right now.
Totally. But just like back in 1918, when people had to get creative and support each other, we're seeing that same drive in the hashtag tariff tale stories. Like, imagine a farmer who's losing those export sales. Maybe they start a local co-op to sell directly to people in their community, or a tech store that starts doing trade-in programs to help people afford those higher prices. People are adapting, finding solutions.
What's fascinating is how Barry's book shows this resourcefulness, this knack for figuring things out as a fundamental human response to these big disruptions. And, tying this back to the larger economic picture, some analyses are saying the U.S. economy could lose like $100 billion a year if this tariff situation drags on. It really makes you ask, how do we balance dealing with the immediate economic pain with building long-term economic strength? It's a tough question.
It really is. And this is part of why Bill Gates found the Great Influenza so insightful. He's all about tackling global challenges, so he's always looking at how societies deal with massive pressure. This book gives these fundamental lessons on how we endure and rebuild, even when things look really tough.
Yeah, for sure. And that lens helps us make sense of what we're seeing with hashtag tariff tales. These aren't just, theoretical economic concepts. These are real people dealing with the consequences. And importantly, they're finding ways to move forward. That human element is at the heart of it all.
And the fact that hashtag tariff tales is trending so hard today shows just how widespread this tariff impact is. It's clearly hitting a lot of people right where it hurts.
And that's why looking back in time can be so helpful right now. You see those headlines, maybe even feel the effects yourself. So we wanted to bring a deeper understanding, not just about what tariffs are, but about that human story of resilience and adaptation that Barry lays out so well.
So basically, just like communities found ways to deal with the 1918 pandemic and keep going, the stories we're seeing in the hashtag tariff tales movement in 2025 show that same core human ability to figure things out and find solutions when the economy throws us a curveball.
It's really incredible. And with that in mind, think about those individual hashtag tariff tales stories. How do these small acts of resilience, when you look at them as a whole, change how we see the big economic changes happening now? And, maybe even more importantly, how do they inform how we face whatever economic challenges are coming next?